With the greens come the cattle. In time past, there used to be a clash between the farmers and the herdsmen, and this was a major challenge in Isai. However, this seems to have been resolved.
I believe that there is nothing that can happen without stakeholder involvement. It's a policy of inclusion, a policy of cooperation and understanding. Simply what government did was to call all the stakeholders together. The governor addressed them, and they brought their issues to the fore, and they were all resolved. The government also set up an inter-ethnic, inter-religious committee, something that meets, or a committee that meets regularly, so that they can deliberate on issues and think ahead. What are we likely to encounter in the next few months? What is currently happening? And they resolve all of those issues. The traditional rulers are also important for us because they are the custodian of the culture and they're closer to the people. The local government too, they've been doing quite a lot of work in that area. It also makes it easy, when a government takes security very, very, very important. Okay, and that's one of the number one things that this administration has done, the restoration of peace in the state, and so it permeates all areas, and therefore the farmers and the herdsmen issue, we've put it at bay because there's a better understanding and better cooperation and relationship between all the stakeholders.
In the heart of Isai is a melting point that ties all residents in the area. Ojaoba, meaning the King's Market, is where consumables and non-consumables can be purchased. It operates at both day and night markets. Even here, the people complain of inadequate infrastructure, including water and toilets. The education sector is also not properly represented in the zone. While primary and secondary levels are in existence, the issue of higher institutions seems to have been a discouraging factor for a while.
The only institution we have here was given autonomy. Formerly, it was a satellite campus for the Polytechnic Ibadan. So around 2 years ago, it was given autonomy to run as a Polytechnic on its own, and that's the Ogun Polytechnic Shaki. So aside that, it is South Polytechnic that is next, and was because of that the proprietors look at, okay, let us have another polytechnic to complement the one government had. And Shaki is around 250-300 kilometers from here, let's say 250 thereabout from here. It's actually been a major factor in development within this area. Even down to Shaki, these facilities are not there. They are not there. And it is part of the reason why this institution has come up. That we want to teach and train our students, our people within this region. Not that the school is only looking at people from this region alone, from outside. But because the proprietors look at, okay, we want to give back to our society where we grew up. That's why let us face our own people here. That's why they cited it here.
Ogun is also known for its cotton-based textiles called ashofi, although some dialects refer to it as ashoke. The material is a popular traditional fabric worn on special occasions by the Yoruba, especially for coronation, chieftaincy, wedding engagement, festivals, naming ceremony, and other important events. Ashofi is said to have been invented in Ile-Ife in Osun State and later taken to Isai, from where it became popular, especially among the Yoruba tribe. fibers used to weave the cloth were made locally in the olden days. But in these days, they are also sourced from neighboring states, apart from the synthetic fabric imported for special traditional clothes. SHOLA ADETUNJI, who says that he was born into this trade, believes it is a beneficial path, both economically and otherwise.
After our schooling, maybe we can go run away, maybe to find job. This thing is also take us busy. We don't need to find another job again. Very, very okay and comfortable for the family. Quite all right before, it's an old school material. But now, we don't modernize it because we are also go to school and change maybe the olden day pattern with the new pattern now. The material they are using in olden day is the one they are brought from the farm, and they are using it just like the local cotton wool. But later on, when they are bringing it to the factory, they rechange it to the cotton we are using now, because that one is olden day one. They are using the olden day one like they are using the hand to roll it, and now they are taking it to factory, and it will be quite easy to weave it than the olden one.
One observation is that the process has hardly changed over the decades. The locally made materials for weaving at the various stages remain the same and would obviously limit the quantity of production.
Yes, because we have tried it to remodern it than the olden day one, but all the one we have made is not comfortable for us to use. That's the reason why we are using the olden day one.
Once again, the role of the government in developing this potential, which would not only promote Nigeria's culture, but mop up unemployment, comes into question.
If there's anything that people would appreciate from this government, is beaming the searchlight or the spotlight on Ashofi as a local fabric that is not just traditional, but also has taken international dimensions. We've celebrated Ashofi and is saying where it comes from. Government has provided sheds for some of those people because you find out that they are weaving under the tree. Government provided sheds for them. I went there to commission the sheds during the very first Ashofi festival. It's a bit complex, but let me tell you what the issues are. Very straightforward. One, we have a problem of Chinese Ashofi coming into Nigeria. So what we're trying to do is to position this Ashofi, the one made here, as the authentic. But our people also must learn, and I've been talking to them, they must learn the art of industrialization. We must imbibe technology, adapt technology to produce it. What you see all of those people is they're basically trained from generation to generation, and they are comfortable with it, but they can't do mass production. The Chinese can do mass production, and that is why the government laid the foundation for an Ashofi international market. We're also talking to investors that can put a tannery somewhere there because there's a lot of thread content in whatever they produce. The last time I was in Iseyin, it was for a visitation by an American group of investors who would like to develop that industry. But what we need to do also is to make sure that Ashofi is not just about my cap or the wear, because Ashofi is ceremonial. Okay, so it's either during weddings, during chieftaincy, or burial of an old person. What we need to do is to celebrate more the variants that can be produced from Ashofi. What am I talking about? Handbags, shoes, tablecloth, curtains, pillowcases, bedspreads, and all the other things that you can do with Ashofi. With that, you produce a lot more quantity. You don't wait for one person to get married. Between the marriage of one person and the next one, so you got to do it in a commercial, manner, which is one of the things that we're trying to educate them about. Right now, we have a very good relationship with them, the weavers and the marketers, and we have been supporting them. What we just need to do is to take it to the next level. There's also the huge international dimension, which I keep referring to. One, Ashofi is just like jeans. It's like jeans. It's about the same material. The kind of jeans you were wearing when we were younger is not what we're wearing now. So Ashofi also must come down because of the weather, because it has to have an international appeal. So that's what we're working with them now, orientating them and selling them on the concept of looking at it from a purely business and international dimension. However, what we have now is even enough for us, if we harness it well, to take us to that desired level. But we need to support them with technology for us to get to that level that you are talking about. However, I can also say our people are not willing to change. They are used to it. They believe that that is the real thing.
The story of Ogun is similar to that of many other areas in Nigeria. The issue of infrastructural deficit has hampered the realization of a lot of potentials, and this, of course, requires an urgent attention. Well, that's our story on this episode of the program. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ili JOHN-MEKWA.